Direct Mail Monday, October 5th, 2020. Steve Sipress here. And in case you're wondering, we talk about this a lot. I hear this all the time from small business owners. Probably didn't hear it about 20 years ago, but ever since the internet became and all kinds of shiny objects came along from it, business owners keep asking themselves, do offline marketing ways work? Do they still work? Isn't everybody just looking at the internet? And does does anything offline work? And number one on the list, my experience, is direct mail because it costs money to print words onto paper, buy envelopes, put stamps on them, or if you use postcards, still a lot of costs involved with direct mail compared to can I just put up a tweet, put a post on Facebook? Can I just send out an email? Uh, of course you can. And people that know me know I'm famous for constantly saying I live in an and world, not an or world. So it's not a question of can I do this instead of this? Can I do this in addition to this? So let's take a look at direct mail. Now, this week I'm sharing a piece that came into my mailbox from one of the sharpest marketing people I know, a friend of mine, Nick James, who is using direct mail. Nick James is what a lot of people would call an internet marketer, an online marketer, but as a smart online marketer, he doesn't just market online. In fact, said he's a friend of mine. I've met him, which means I've met him in person. It's not simply sitting at home in his underwear on a beach somewhere with a laptop, whatever, and just doing everything over the internet. Smart business owners, smart entrepreneurs, smart marketers use offline and online strategies to connect, communicate, advertise, market, sell, influence, whatever you want to call it, with other people, right? So, few things I can notice just from the envelope alone. Check it out. Nick, who is over across the pond, as they say, in the UK somewhere, but he registers a business here in the US. So this is sent from a United States address, and Nevada being extremely, or Nevada, I'm not sure how to pronounce it these days, is famous for having being very friendly to corporations. A lot of corporations are originate in Nevada, and so that's where Nick, if you ask me, has chosen to set up shop with his corporation, Nevada. In fact, now I think I met him either in Nevada or in California. But when you set up a corporation somewhere, you can then get a tax write-off to go visit your corporation, not probably every week or every month, but a couple of times a year. So he gets to write off that travel, and you can do so as well. Second thing I want to mention is that this piece is sent from Wichita, Kansas. So located in Nevada, the CEO or the person on the return address here lives not even in the country, lives over in the United Kingdom, and it's sent from Wichita, Kansas. Now, I have done business with three different direct mail fulfillment houses in Wichita, Kansas. So I believe that he has gotten a fulfillment house, which means you get the piece written and then you send over the file to a fulfillment house, or it's automatically generated with software. Every time someone buys a certain thing, sends a message to a fulfillment house, and the fulfillment house prints out whatever letter or messages or package or whatever it is that you have on file with them that will go out when triggered by this message. In this case, I make sure to get on a buyer list of a lot of top advertising marketers, a lot of top companies, and Nick is one of them. I'm on a buying list. So Nick likely has a list of emails, prospects, suspects, people that have joined the list, opted in, as it's known, for some kind of free information to watch a video or get a free download or whatever it is. But am I suggesting that you invest money to market to those people? No. So I'm not saying that I suggest you willy-nilly pay money and send out direct mail to every single person who's opted into your list, even if you do have their name and email and somehow physical mailing address. But I'm saying for a buyer's list, people that have bought stuff, even when they buy on the internet, you're going to get their address of because it comes with the payment information. I don't know if payment processors are going to process a payment without getting the address of the person putting in the credit card or making the online payment. Or I'm sure there are some, but the ones I know require more information than simply name and email when you make an online payment. So when you get a list of buyers, you've got more information than just name and email. Then you can look through your buyers list and segment it out and say just my best buyers, or anyone over a certain threshold, or anyone who's bought in a certain recent amount of time, period of time, or anyone. You can have all different ways to select your list you're sending out to. Another thing I noticed by the envelope is don't let stuff like this stop you. Apparently, I am on his list as, can you read that? As Steve Cypress, which means at one point I put something into a box on the computer, I'm guessing, that said, what's your first name, last name? I put Steve Cypress. At another point, it might have said, what's your name? And I put Steve Cypress. And now it put Steve Cypress into the first name field in the customer relationship manager, the CRM software. So it comes out as Steve Cypress. Well, don't let that stop you from marketing to your buyers. Just because maybe you have a strange name or a weird name, or you got, in this case, you got my name wrong, so what? So what? Don't sit there and wait till you comb through your whole list of thousands of buyers or hundreds or 20 or whatever it is. Send it out. I don't care. Like I just said, I understand why that happened, and almost undoubtedly it's my doing. I put in the information into the system, and it's in as Steve Cypress. Is that going to stop me from opening this up, reading it, and then possibly buying from it? Of course not. And I'm going to prove it right now by going into my top desk drawer and getting out my trusty Rhino letter opener. You might notice in the background here I have an affinity for rhinos, symbol of the entrepreneur, as per the great book Rhinoceros Success by Scott Alexander. I highly recommend it. I have given out probably 400 or 500 copies to entrepreneurs that I feel are worthy of reading that book. And if you feel you're worthy, you ought to go get a copy of that book, Rhinoceros Success, Scott Alexander. Okay, so here's what I'm guessing is in here. And now I guess I should have guessed before I open it, like the great Johnny Carson. It's been hermetically sealed on Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today. And then he would open it and go and blow in it. I'm guessing that I received whatever message this is in the form of an email, didn't respond in the form of buying. In my case, it's likely I didn't even open it up and didn't even read it. But is he going to stop that? Maybe I didn't read it because I was busy. And like everybody, I get hundreds of emails every day. Maybe it's because it got caught up in some kind of a filter and didn't even get delivered to my email inbox. But he's not going to let that stop him from getting his sales message in front of me. That's what I'm guessing. So I'm guessing that this is just simply something I could have seen online. And whether I saw it online and didn't buy, or I didn't see it at all, he's not letting that stop him from getting that message in front of me. And then here it is. So now, even more impressive, he's using full color. Obviously, he's using every pretty much possible inch of both sides. Very small margins, giving him more information to sell. Now, the graphic artist would tell you that's ugly. Man, you've got to have more white space so it looks pretty and good. And pretty and good doesn't mean effective. So if you pay attention to my teachings, you'll hear me often say the goal of a business owner, of anyone who's marketing or advertising, is not to have it look pretty, it's to have it be effective. And so the more room you give yourself to sell with words, images, whatever it is, the more likely your sales message is going to work, right? So last I checked, white space never sold anything. So the only white space I see here is taking up the rest of the room on the line where he uses for his signature. Hey, it's from Nick. So of course there's nothing else there because you need some space for the signature. Everywhere else, lots of copy, which means words that sell, and some images here. And sure enough, it is up. Variable printing, very smart, starting out with my name. If you've read Carnegie's classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I believe chapter one, I've long ago given away my copy to a client somewhere and then got another copy, gave that away. But I believe chapter one is there's no more sweeter sound to a person than their own name. So you start off, boom, Steve Cypress. And the great news here is my name is not coming out as Steve Cypress Cypress, which means this might mean the variable printing here is the person's first name. It could say Steve. When you join me, blah, blah, blah. But since somehow I've put into his system that my first name is Steve Cypress, hence the envelope coming out to Steve Cypress, Cypress, the letter coming out to Steve Cypress. I believe it might come out to other people with just their first name. And then again, he's using my full name here, and that tells me even more that this sentence, Steve Cypress, over the last 2 years, I've been blah, blah, blah. It would likely mean first name only. Steve, over the last 2 years. Sounds a lot more conversational and realistic if you talk to somebody and say, hey, Steve. Not a lot of people would say, hey, Steve Cypress, if they know me. And even less people off topic call me Steven, which I've been getting stuff in the mail, text messages, emails to Steven. I'm like, whoa, that's a big disconnect. Not even my own mom called me Steven. Like, I know it's technically my name. They must have gotten it for some very official thing. Again, like a form where I have to fill out credit card or something for business. I am the president of the corporation, full name. But that's a tip off right away. They don't know me. But anyway, so Steve, when you join me in my new serious about 6 figures a year training program, I'll show you how you too could be making $10,000 to $85,000 every month within the next 6 to 12 months. Don't have time to dissect that entire powerful headline. It's got a whole bunch of smart elements in it. But one telltale sign that he is not actually in or from Las Vegas is the British spelling of the word program. So there it is. My training program with a British spelling. Might also say things on here like behavior, stuff like that with the OUR, where in the US we would just have the OR, or flavor, or stuff like that. Anyway, so sure, I might have gotten an email about this with probably a couple of sentences say click here for more information about the program. And then on the sales page would have been all this. So you don't, it's one way to answer the question, Steve, I guess I want to use direct mail then. You've convinced me. I don't know what to say. Well, you take your sales page and simply print it onto a piece of paper or multiple pieces of paper, however many you need, and there's your copy. And I see Phil Brakefield is here, and the next thing I was going to mention, because he saw it right there when I showed just below the headline, boom, it's got this little asterisk here with an arrow. So another thing you can do to make it seem like it's personalized, as if after he printed all this out, he put a squiggly line under here, and he put an asterisk over here. Took out a red pen, red Sharpie, a little thicker than a pen, and put a red asterisk here. Hey, check out the page, freesystemtrialpackage.com. So many lessons here, right? The page is not his name. Whatever your main website is, and it's likely he has a main website called nickjames.com or whatever, but take out $10 and register a new URL, capitalize the first letter of every word so it's easy to read, easy to remember, and it is relevant to whatever you're getting people to, or attempting to get people to take action on here, freesystemtrialpackage.com. Look at that. It's completely free. Even the postage is free. It's using the most powerful word in all of marketing and advertising a whole bunch of times here. I see it right up top. First, I need to send you a trial package right away, a free system trial package. Blah, 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 blah. It won't have cost you a single penny because you can review it completely free. Even the postage is free. Blah, 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 blah. So why, you might be asking, would he spend all the money to print this out, double-sided, full color, put it in an envelope, put the postage on it, pay a fulfillment house to do the whole thing? They're going to charge a little bit more than just the envelope, the printing, the postage. to give me something for free? Well, I hope you understand the answer to that because he's done the math. So he knows that for every 100 people that request this free package, a certain number end up buying something from him or buying the advanced version of it or whatever it is. Therefore, it makes sense and it makes money. Will some people simply take the free system trial package and go away, never to be heard from again? Possibly. If he wasn't mailing this to his buyers list, that's a much higher probability, which is, again, if you weren't here in the beginning, I do not recommend you willy-nilly send out direct mail to every stranger or prospect or someone that just put in a name and email or didn't buy, even if they put in their full information, if they didn't buy from you. Save your best marketing, your most impactful marketing for your buyers, the people upon which you can have the most impact, right? And so I am on Nick's buyers list. He's going to send out his most impactful marketing. And by far and away, I know the internet exists and social media and all that kind of stuff, but by far and away to this day, and as far as I can see going forward, it'll still be true, but that remains to be seen. The most impactful marketing is done through direct mail. So I highly recommend you use it. And Phil puts down the brand name copy doodles, which is possible these are, and possible they are not, because you can put doodles onto your copy without getting the official trademarked and top marketers love Mike Capuzzi's copy doodles, which I love, and I bought a lifetime package of everything he's got. So I highly recommend them, but whether you use the technical brand copy doodles or something else, you see a lot of great elements on here. So I don't have time to go through the whole thing, and that's not the point of today. The point of today is teaching about direct mail, when to use it, to whom, with whom to use it, how to use it. Hopefully you've gotten a bunch of tips, and if you want more information or really to go over more about what's on the inside of this and why it works so well, go over to helpfromsteve.com, get on my calendar, and I'll help you out. How to get started using direct mail so you too can cash in on the most effective way to do marketing and sales. Yes, even in the year 2020. I would say especially in the year 2020 when less and less, fewer and fewer people, to be grammatically correct, are using direct mail. That makes each and every piece that arrives more and more impactful, get more and more attention. The days of like, oh, look, I got 20 pieces of mail in my mailbox. Let me sift through them. That's what people do with email. That's what people do with social media. Oh, my goodness, all these messages. Let me scroll through as quick as I can. Direct mail, complete opposite. Oh, look, a letter from somebody? Wow. Navin Johnson from The Jerk, Steve Martin. I'm somebody. Let me open this thing. Opening it, first step, to people reading it, which is the next step, people clicking on it, taking action on it, which is the next step, to getting them to buy from you, which is the point of advertising and marketing. So, highly recommend direct mail. We'll leave it at that. And that's why every Monday I come to you and I share some tips on how to get the best bang for your buck by using direct mail. Now, a lot of this stuff also applies, of course, to all of advertising and marketing. I've given a few tips that apply to whether you do online, offline, in-person, left-handed, right-handed, no matter what you do. A lot of the stuff I talked about works, but I highly recommend that. I hope you still got in your marketing mix the good old tried and true best bang for your buck direct mail. Thank you, Phil, for being here, everyone else, and that'll do it for Direct Mail Monday, October 5th, 2020. I'll catch you tomorrow on Topical Tuesday. Until then, over and out. Bye-bye.